Good morning, everyone. Guys, we're going to be talking about the winter fuel payments today, and there's actually precedence, well, not precedence, but there's actually a lot of evidence to back this up, what I'm saying here and what I said on the thumbnail. Guys, thousands could be affected, and by affected I mean affected as in this could be potentially their last winter. So guys, let's just get straight into it with these articles. Now this article is referring to winter in where are we? Winter in, well, I'll show you. So this is an article referring to winter 22-23. So I think that was last year, because obviously December's winter, and that's 22, and then obviously January's winter, which is 2023. So this was like from 22-23. So read the headline. UK records 4,950 excess winter deaths amid cost of living crisis. So this is while people still had the winter fuel payment. This happened, guys, as this is here, guys, look, UK records almost 5,000 excess winter deaths amid cost of living crisis. So this is while people still had the winter fuel payment, and this is while fuel prices were lower than they are now. So guys, can you imagine the carnage this winter, especially if we have a cold winter? New official data shows that a significant amount of people lost their lives last winter, and it seems as is a lack of government legislation and poor insulation could be to blame. New Stark figures estimate that some 4,950 excess winter deaths last year in the UK were down to people living in cold and damp homes. See, I didn't even consider the dampness that comes when the heating goes off. New official data from the end. I'll put a link to this in the description, guys. I'll put a link to that website as well. New official data from the End Fuel Poverty Coalition says those figures were recorded during the 2022-2023 winter. Guys, this was a relatively warm winter. The Warm This Winter study also found that when the average winter temperature in the UK drops below 4 degrees centigrade, the level of excess winter deaths skyrockets. Last winter, the average was slightly up from that at 4.3 degrees C. Guys, there was something in the news saying that we're going to have an Arctic blast like in the next couple of days. Let me just quickly search for this. In fact, hang on, let me stop sharing that. So guys, what you can see there is we already have this data saying the effect of this winter fuel payment and what it's going to have on people. Of course, nobody has a crystal ball. We can't see into the future. We don't know what's coming. Maybe this winter we are going to have the warmest winter on record, and it's going to be plus 20 every day. Unlikely, but it might happen. Maybe we won't have any excess, fatalities. But if we look back, what the data is telling us, if we look back at previous reports and previous, previous work that people have done, even when this winter fuel payment was there, we're having a lot of excess deaths because of fuel poverty. Now, I saw something in the news this morning. So if we remember that 4 degrees, where are we? So if we remember that 4 degrees thing there, guys, where is it? I'm just trying to, here we are, yeah, let me share this. So if we remember what that article just said about if the weather drops below 4 degrees, then there's a significant increase in fatalities. This is an article from, I think, today. So right now, we're looking like we're going to have a cold, well, let me get rid of that. Ugh. UK braced for cold snap with Arctic winds set to cause shock to the system. So this was 3 hours ago, guys. So keep that 4 degrees in mind. UK will suffer an unreasonably cold few days. Arctic winds sweep across large parts of the world. Friday morning may be a shock to the system and is likely to be the coldest it gets this week, as cold air is expected to bring temperatures to around 4 to 6 degrees C below average. Is that 4 degrees below average, or all right? Okay, guys, I misread that. But anyway, what you can see is, you can see the weather changing already. And from what we've just heard, if these temperatures drop below that, that threshold of 4 degrees for a consistent amount of time, and the fatality rate rises exponentially. Guys, our politicians, our leaders, our ruling class, they know this, and they're still voting to cut this winter fuel allowance. What's sickening to me is not the fact that they've had to make cuts, because we know that, well, you've got to understand that people need to make cuts. What's sickening is the way they've done that. They're still sending money overseas. They're still funding wars in other countries. We're still funding this migrant crisis, whatever, I don't even think I can call it the migrant crisis. Well, all the time, we're attacking the ones who've paid most into this system. People are going to be so angry when they wake up this morning. They're going to be so angry. And what makes things worse, and what really angers people, is going to anger people even more, is when it's cold outside and they're looking at their heating. Do they click that switch or not? And then, we're seeing videos all over social media of these people in the hotels, and they're living their best life, and their heating's turned on and turned up, because obviously, it would be against their human rights to turn that heating down to a sufficient level. And of course, why would you turn it down? Those guys have got human rights. Guys, what about the human rights of the people in this country? What about the human rights of the people who paid tax into this system all their life? Can you imagine if you had like an, I don't know, football club, or not football club? Yeah, I'll go for football club. So you've got a football club, and you pay subs into that football club every week. You've done that for the last 70 years. All right. What you do with that football club subs, you buy kits and stuff for kids or whatever, imagine that football club then giving all that money to another football club and neglecting its own patrons and neglecting its own people who have paid into that club all their life. Just imagine that when you go to the clubhouse and you say, I don't know, Harry, the money we're always paying in subs? Yeah. Why are you giving it to the other club down the road? Oh, well, we just are. That's what we do now. Shouldn't you be like buying kids in this club like uniform and strips and footballs and football boots? No, that's not what we do. We have got and he's saying things like, no, we have got an obligation to help that club down the road. And you're like, yeah, but Harry, that club down the road, that's nothing to do with us. We're the ones who pay into your club every week, and we have been doing it for the last 70 years. And Harry's like, yeah, but I'm in charge, and this is how it works. I'm just giving my money. I'm just giving your money to the other club. Can you imagine what would happen? You'd be like, yeah, thanks, Harry, but I'm not coming here again. People would stop going to that club. It'd shut down. Harry would be left without a job, and it'd be over. But that is kind of the situation we have at the moment. Let me just read this headline for you as well, guys. So, yeah, so from research, from 2017, cut to winter fuel payment could kill. Probably not the right word to use. Winter fuel payment could kill 4,000 people, suggests Labour's own research. So from 2017, Labour already knew that this was going to happen. From the winter of 22-23, we know that it does happen. So why are they doing this, guys? It seems to me that there is like a war against old people. It's like, they don't pay into the tax system anymore. They're taking up housing. Let's just have them. Let's just try and expire as many as we can. They'll free up homes. It will stop people having to pay them for or whatever state benefits they get, and it might even ease some pressure on the pension pots. It just seems like it's absolutely the wrong decision. And then remember how Labour's supposed to be the party for the people. Labour's supposed to be this party that helps people out, that gives people stuff. They're the compassionate party. Guys, this is socialism. This is what you see in a socialist state. Do you think Keir Starmer, do you think he's going to be cold this winter? Do you think his Nanan's going to be cold this winter? Do you think Rachel Reeves is going to be cold this winter? Do you think Angela Rayner's going to be cold this winter? Do you think their families are going to be suffering? Absolutely not. Guys, the people who this is going to affect are the ones who've paid most into this system. It's absolutely disgusting. You know, I did a video about it yesterday. I'll link that to the end of this one, guys. But you know, nothing good is coming. You know, we've seen it now. We know that this is coming. All we can do, I guess, you know, as conscious and responsible adults, is try as best we can to look after our grandparents, you know, to look after our parents, because they're the ones who built this country. Anyway, guys, that's my little piece. It's just disgusting. I will keep everyone up to date on this, because I do think there's going to be more, you know, there's going to be more coming out about this. This is 100% going to lead to more civil unrest. It's going to lead to more protests, because, guys, when people have got nothing left, what have they got left to lose? You know, imagine old people now. They can't afford their heating on. They can't afford to put their, you know, they can't afford to feed themselves, whatever situation they're in. Right, and you're saying you're going to send them to prison where they get 3 meals a day and they get their heating on. You know, where's the incentive, guys? Nothing good comes from this. It's just absolutely insane, guys. I'm going to leave it there. Anyway, guys, I'm going back to grid, and I'll get you guys another video later.